am here with the wonderful, the magnificent, the beautiful Carolyn, aka Chippy. But she is the owner and lead designer and everything imaginable for Candles by Carolyn. Everyday Essentials, candlesbycarolyn.com. See this beautiful, isn't this a beautiful booklet? Yes, it is. Of course it is. So, Carolyn, say hi. Hi. So, I'm going to ask you, before we get into the business stuff, because I'm sure everybody wants to know about you. So, give me like a brief overview of you growing up. What was Carolyn like?
Well, being the second child of Diana Ross.
Oh, yes.
She don't really claim me because, of course, I was able to outsing her at about 5 years old.
I knew it.
No, damn. What was the question again?
A brief overview of your real life.
Okay, the real one.
Yeah, the real one. Yeah.
Being the oldest of, what did my mother have? 5 children, 1 boy and 3 girls. And my father had 4 girls and 1 boy. So I'm the oldest of 6 altogether. 6 or 7? I don't know.
Right.
It's a whole lot of us. Anyway, I was the oldest. Growing up in North Philadelphia, I was kind of a ambitious kid.
Okay.
I was quite funny,
Yeah, I can see that.
I consider myself probably like a young thug.
Okay.
No, I'm just
Gangster.
kidding. Yeah. I was gangster.
Had to be.
Talking about the head of the Ding Dong Dixie Club. You know what that was, right?
I do.
Knock on people's doors
and run. Yeah.
That's the extent of my.
You can't do that no more. Something might happen. But
no, I could do it like next door.
Okay, yeah.
Growing up kid in North Philadelphia, life was pretty hard.
Okay.
Kind of like good times.
Ooh, with Florida Evans and all that. Okay.
Easy credit ripoff.
Good times.
Ain't we lucky we got them?
Good times.
Hanging in that child line.
Good times. And we lucky we got them. Good times.
Dang on it.
But out of those things you said, okay, so you related it to good times. So what were some of the life-changing events?
One of the most life-changing event was being raised by my grandmother.
Okay.
My grandmother was such a spiritual and influential lady. She kept us in church, and as much as my sisters and I hated going to church, we actually had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
I hated going to church so much that I would sometimes fall down the basement steps on purpose so that I didn't have to go. She still made us go. When you get to church, the pastor gonna pray for you.
Because Jesus is a healer,
Yeah.
so you messed up.
And I grew up in Kojic, and wearing stockings and covering your legs. All of that stuff was very important. Mm-hmm. So what better thing to do than rent my stockings? Mm-hmm. She ain't gonna make me go because I don't have no stockings. You're going. And when you get there, you just gonna go to the store around the corner and buy you a new pair.
Absolutely, $4.
I hated it. But my grandmother kept praying for me and praying for me and praying for me. She kept us in church, which was the one thing that I believe rooted and grounded me.
Absolutely.
And at an age when I was able to get out and on my own, I've experienced a lot of challenges, being in abusive relationships, which caused me to lose whatever ounce of self-esteem I probably had. And then getting into lifestyles that was unlike a Christian lady, just out there in the streets, using my outer beauty to kind of get what I want from anybody I could. But it was all a result of having low self-esteem, no love for myself. So any man that told me he loved me, he was mine. And I really didn't have any emotional connections to anybody. Okay. So I was able to go with this guy, go with that guy, because I had no emotional connections towards anyone. They liked me for my outside, so that's what I kind of dwelt on. I'm cute. I was cute, petite. My first children's father, he was extremely abusive to the point where I weighed probably 105 pounds. He called me fat. I was fat.
Oh, 105?
105 pounds.
I think I weighed that much in like 5th grade.
After 2 kids, I weighed 105.
Ooh.
I was fat.
Oh, but you was fat.
Yeah,
okay.
I was ugly.
That was nice.
Yeah. And looking at my 2 children, and as beautiful as they were and still are, I had to make a decision. I'm either going to stay here and allow this man to beat the hell out of me, or protect my 2 children and get them out of this. I left. No, I didn't leave. I escaped.
Yeah.
I escaped.
Yeah.
I basically climbed out of a window with my sewing machines and my 2 children, and that was it. I was like, you know what? I'm getting out of here. And I did. And there was no turning back. I had no job, no money, and I knew how to sew.
Your skills.
I went somewhere and set my sewing machines up, and I started making stuff and started making money.
That is awesome.
And I'm like, you know what? I have to do something for me and for my children.
Mm-hmm.
The sewing machine was the only thing that I knew.
Wow.
I had started a full-fledged business.
Yeah.
Just like
on the run.
On the run.
On the run.
And I was literally on the run.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did he find? Eventually he found out where I was, but I was literally on a run.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people, I commend you for that bravery and that courage, because not too many people can do that. And a lot of people, outside people who aren't in abusive relationships, have never been in an abusive relationship, haven't even been close to it, they always say, well, why can't you get out? Because you could lose your life just trying to get out. If I went out the front door, he could kill me.
Not only can you lose your life, it's a mentality of, and it's always funny when people that has never been in abusive relationships, when they say, well, you stayed, it's your fault. No, it's not. It's a mentality of, this is the person that claimed to love me. Mm-hmm. And although his love hurt, that's really all I know.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And anybody that has never been in a relationship, they definitely wouldn't be able to understand. Nope. They wouldn't be able to relate. Mm-hmm. It's really difficult. And especially with someone having low self-esteem, and someone is constantly putting in your head, nobody's going to love you but me. Those are things that you tend to believe when this is the only person I feel that loves me, so this is who I am. I'm fat, I'm ugly, and if he loves me, he's here with me even though I'm fat, and even though I'm ugly, nobody else is going to want me because he tells me that every day.
Wow.
So I should just be lucky.
Wow.
Until you find that love within yourself, then you're going to continue to go. That's why there are women that continue to go from one abusive relationship to another one, because it's a cycle.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you attract. You think people can, when you have low self-esteem, I feel like you wear that, and a predator can see that.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, that makes sense. And during this time, who was supportive? Like, where was your support system?
I won't say that I did not have a support system. At this time, my grandmother was really old, and she was living in like handicapped senior citizens apartments, and I was a bit embarrassed about it, so I didn't really want a lot of people to know. I did have, an aunt that she knew a little bit, but she didn't know everything. At that point, nobody really knew everything, because for one, I was afraid of him. Yeah. And two, I was embarrassed to let anyone know that that's the kind of life that I was living, because on the surface and on the outside, we looked great. We looked like a beautiful family. Yeah. My children and I, we dressed nice, and he dressed nice. We just looked like a picture-perfect young family. But as soon as I would get home almost every day, I would get a nice little beating.
And from your abusive relationship and the things, you say you have 2 kids, 2 daughters.
I have 2 daughters and 1 son.
2 daughters, 1 son. Now, with your daughters especially, how do you, or what have you deposited in them so that they don't make the same mistakes or go through?
Thankfully, my children were too young to really have that impacted upon them. However, even though they were young, they know, because they know my story. What I've deposited into my daughters, and they see it every day, they see me working very hard. They see me not the normal mother, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, mixing all kinds of stuff together, tired, working, coming home, working some more. They've seen that practically their entire lives, that my mother is a go-getter. She's going to make something happen even if nothing is happening. Exactly. She's going to make something out of nothing. I've never been one to sit around and wait for someone to give me anything. I've always made something. And I always feel like if somebody know how to do something, if you're talented in any area, you should actually never be broke.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. And with your children, what do you see in them that is a reflection of you?
Well, my oldest, my son, he's 25. think my son started off maybe in the 7th grade selling snakes.
Oh yeah.
He's been an entrepreneur. He's been an entrepreneur since he was probably in 7th grade. He went from every grade he was selling something different. My son is a natural born. My oldest daughter, Tatiana, she's the dancer. She went to school her entire life for dance. She's a talented dance teacher.
Awesome.
Now, as well as a seamstress. She asked me one day, she said, Mom, can you make me something? I said, nope.
You make it.
I said, you can take the sewing machine. And she's been making clothes for probably going on a year now, and she's awesome. The talent that she's also a makeup artist. The talent that I see in her. Like, this girl is so creative.
Naturally.
It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable when I see the things that she produced. I'm like,
you made that? No, you didn't. Get out of here.
And the only ways I probably would believe her is because sometimes she's here doing it.
That's awesome.
Now, my youngest daughter, she's talented and gifted in her own way. She's really good. Like, if there was an award or a first place, like, I don't know what you would call this sport.
The gimme sport?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's a good gimmeer.
Oh, yay. That's the baby's place.
Yeah, she's a good gimmeer. That's her. Like,
okay.
super, super talented. Like, is that a title we can give her?
Super baby sport. Yeah. And she's funny.
She's very funny.
So that's also
she's like the funniest kid.
She's
the funniest kid around.
See? So that's her talent.
She's a funny gimme kid.
Funny gimme. We should come up with an award for
gimme.
For gimme kid.
That's what
Gimme kid.
that's what she is. My name Khalees the Beast. Forgive me, girl. Forgive me, girl. That's what she is. The forgive me, girl.
Now, you are a seamstress. What inspired Candles by Carolyn and Everyday Essentials?
Okay.
What was that transition like?
Okay, that was very easy. I've always been a candle fanatic.
Really?
Always. Love candles. I've always burned candles. I always love the smell of candles. I always love how the ambiance of the room when candles are lit. It's always a good feel. What prompted the Candles by Carolyn, I was on a budget.
Okay.
Last summer. And part of my budget was the candles, the amount of money that I can spend monthly on candles, which wasn't much. And I burn candles every day, so the amount that I could spend, where was I going to get good candles? I couldn't afford a Yankee unless I was going to buy one a month.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I couldn't really buy Bath and Body. Did Bath and Body Works sell candles?
Yeah.
I couldn't really afford candles unless I would refuse to buy a Dollar Tree candle.
They don't smell like candles. They
smell like wax.
Yeah.
They smell like crayons.
Or a church bathroom. Like, no,
so,
thank you.
Instead, one month, instead of me actually buying the candles, I started out with, and I think I have a photo of it too. I bought 2 lemons, a container of wax, and a small bottle of essential oil.
Wow.
And I said, let me try to make my own candles. With the 2 lemons, cut them in half, took everything out, filled it with the wax, and I didn't know how to put wax stems and things in, so I used a penny.
Okay.
And the wax string.
Yeah.
So my first candle was a peppermint lemon, and it was made with lemon halves.
That is so creative.
And that was the most awesome scent ever. You could smell the lemon and mint outside of my house.
That is so creative.
You could smell it, right? After
Nobody
that, I made one for my friend as a gift,
Mm-hmm.
and she absolutely loved it. And I said, you know what? Why don't I just start making my candles?
So we have your seamstress who knows how to make all of these wonderful things. Now you're making candles. That's great. You got that on lock. Now you have aromatherapy. You have skincare. You just said, let me keep on going. What else can I do? Okay. Okay.
Diaper rash cream is next.
Why not? Up top. Everybody having babies and stuff.
There you go.
That works. That does work. But I mean, that is so, because you're your own little store right now.
Well, I can tell you how these things came about.
Mm-hmm.
These other things came about with the Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
And all of the police brutality and there was a point in time I didn't want to buy any products from Walmart. I didn't want to buy any products from, I wanted to support black owned businesses, and some of the black owned businesses you can't get certain things. I said, you know what? I'm in this line of business, so there are some things I have to go to Walmart for soap and stuff. So I said, no, I don't. I can make my own.
Exactly.
So I started making my own soap. Like, okay, my skin is getting a little ashy. What I'm going to do? What I'm going to do? So I started making my own lotion.